Please like the video and share it so that it reaches many more people and you get sawaba, or rewards from Allah. This could be a sawabe jariyah or continuous reward for you long after you are gone.
Volume 4, Book 52, number 289. Narrated by Ibn Umar. Umar saw a silken cloak being sold in the market and he brought it to Allah's apostle and said, "O Allah's apostle, buy this cloak and adorn yourself with it on the Eid festivals and on meeting the delegations." Allah's apostle replied, "This is the dress for the one who will have no share in the hereafter," or, "This is worn by one who will have no share in the hereafter." After some time had passed, Allah's apostle sent a silken cloak to Umar. Umar took it and brought it to Allah's apostle and said, "O Allah's apostle, you have said that this is the dress of that who will have no share in the hereafter," or, "This is worn by one who will have no share in the hereafter, yet you have sent me this." The Prophet said, "I have sent it, so that you may sell it or fulfill with it some of your needs." Volume 4, Book 52, number 290. Narrated by Ibn Umar. Umar and a group of the companions of the Prophet set out with the Prophet to Ibn Sayyad. He found him playing with some boys near the hillocks of Bani Magala. Ibn Sayyad at that time was nearing his puberty. He did not notice the Prophet's presence, till the Prophet stroked him on the back with his hand and said, "Ibn Sayyad, do you testify that I am Allah's apostle?" Ibn Sayyad looked at him and said, "I testify that you are the apostle of the illiterates." Then Ibn Sayyad asked the Prophet, "Do you testify that I am the apostle of Allah?" The Prophet said to him, "I believe in Allah and his apostles." Then the Prophet said to Ibn Sayyad, "What do you see?" Ibn Sayyad replied, "True people and false ones visit me." The Prophet said, "Your mind is confused as to this matter." The Prophet added, "I have kept something in my mind for you." Ibn Sayyad said, "It is ad-duck." The Prophet said to him, "Shame be on you. You cannot cross your limits." On that, Umar said, "O Allah's apostle, allow me to chop his head off." The Prophet said, "If he should be him, i.e. ad-Dajjal, then you cannot overpower him, and should he not be him, then you are not going to benefit by murdering him." Volume 4, Book 52, number 290. Narrated by Ibn Umar. Later on, Allah's apostle, once again, went along with Ubay bin Ka'b to the garden of date palms where Ibn Sayyad was staying. When the Prophet entered the garden, he started hiding himself behind the trunks of the date palms as he wanted to hear something from the Ibn Sayyad before the latter could see him. Ibn Sayyad was lying in his bed, covered with a velvet sheet from where his murmurs were heard. Ibn Sayyad's mother saw the Prophet while he was hiding himself behind the trunks of the date palms. She addressed Ibn Sayyad, "O Saf," and this was his name. Ibn Sayyad got up. The Prophet said, had this woman let him to himself, he would have revealed the reality of his case. Then the Prophet got up amongst the people, glorifying Allah as he deserves. He mentioned ad-Dajjal, saying, "I warn you about him, i.e. ad-Dajjal, and there is no prophet who did not warn his nation about him, and Noah warned his nation about him. But I tell you a statement which no prophet informed his nation of. You should understand that he is a one-eyed man and Allah is not one-eyed." Volume 4, Book 52, number 291. Narrated by Osama bin Zaid. I asked the Prophet during his Hajj, "O Allah's apostle, where will you stay tomorrow?" He said, "Has Aqil left for us any house?" He then added, "Tomorrow we will stay at Kaif Bani Kanana, i.e. al-Muhasab, where the pagans of Quraysh took an oath of Kufa, i.e. to be loyal to heathenism. In that Bani Kanana got allied with Quraysh against Bani Hashim on the terms that they would not deal with the members of the Is tribe or give them shelter." Az Zuhri said, Kaif means valley. See Hadith number 659, Volume 2. Volume 4, Book 52, number 292. Narrated by Aslam. Umar bin al-Khattab appointed a freed slave of his, called Hunay, manager of the Himma, i.e. a pasture devoted for grazing the animals of the zakat or other specified animals. He said to him, O Hunay, don't oppress the Muslims and ward off their curse, invocations against you, for the invocation of the oppressed is responded to by Allah, and allow the shepherd having a few camels and those having a few sheep to graze their animals, and take care not to allow the livestock of Abdurrahman bin Auf and the livestock of Uthman bin Affan, for if their livestock should perish, then they have their farms and gardens. While those who own a few camels and those who own a few sheep, if their livestock should perish, would bring their dependents to me and appeal for help, saying, O chief of the believers! O chief of the believers! Would I then neglect them? No, of course. So, I find it easier to let them have water and grass rather than to give them gold and silver from the Muslims' treasury. By Allah, these people think that I have been unjust to them. This is their land, and during the pre-Islamic period, they fought for it and they embraced Islam, willingly, while it was in their possession. By him in whose hand my life is, were it not for the animals, in my custody, which I give to be ridden for striving in Allah's cause, I would not have turned even a span of their land into a himma. Volume 4, Book 52, number 293. Narrated by Hudhaifa. The Prophet said, to us, list the names of those people who have announced that they are Muslims. So, we listed 1,500 men. Then we wondered, should we be afraid of infidels, although we are 1,500 in number? No doubt. We witnessed ourselves being afflicted with such bad trials that one would have to offer the prayer alone in fear. Volume 4, Book 52, number 294. Narrated by Al-Amish. We listed the Muslims and found them 500. And Abu Muawiyah said, between 600 to 700. Volume 4, Book 52, number 295. Narrated by Ibn Abbas. A man came to the Prophet and said, O Allah's Apostle, I have enlisted in the army for such and such Ghazwa, and my wife is leaving for Hajj. Allah's Apostle said, go back and perform Hajj with your wife. Volume 4, Book 52, number 296. Narrated by Az Zuri. As follows in Hadith 297. Volume 4, Book 52, number 297. Narrated by Abu Hurairah. We were in the company of Allah's Apostle in a Ghazwa, and he remarked about a man who claimed to be a Muslim, saying, this man is from the people of the hell fire. When the battle started, the man fought violently till he got wounded. Somebody said, O Allah's Apostle, the man whom you described as being from the people of the hell fire fought violently today and died. The Prophet said, he will go to the hell fire. Some people were on the point of doubting the truth of what the Prophet had said. While they were in this state, suddenly someone said that he was still alive but severely wounded. When night fell, he lost patience and committed suicide. The Prophet was informed of that, and he said, Allah is greater. I testify that I am Allah's slave and his apostle. Then he ordered Bilal to announce amongst the people, none will enter paradise but a Muslim, and Allah may support this religion, i.e. Islam, even with a disobedient man.